Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, holy shit. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of people who didn't think we'd make it this far. Okay, episode 300. This is Sparta. Hey, let me tell you something. For not practicing that and just not even knowing that I was going to say it, pretty good rendition. Listen, thank you everyone who's ever watched a single episode of this podcast, who's ever reached out about this podcast, who's ever accidentally clicked it and was like, what's this fuckface talking about? And then clicked away, but still gave me that view. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody who's been on this journey. Okay. And listen, the podcast goes through ebb and flows. Okay. Listen, sometimes it gets silly. Sometimes we get real serious. Sometimes we cry. We cried once on the podcast. I didn't put the video out, but good luck going back and finding it. Okay. And the episode's not called Evan Cries. That would be a little too much of a giveaway. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 300. Okay. Did I think about dressing up? This is Sparta. Sorry, Beowulf. I did not. I just scared the shit out of my dog. I had a dream last night that she died. So I'm a little emotional with the dog right now. Okay. Listen, sometimes dreams feel real and it fucks you up. All right. I love you, Beowulf, more than you know. Had a dream she drowned. Could there be a worse ending to a dog than drowning? I mean, I'm sure some people could think of a few, but let's stay positive. Let's not go dark on this episode, even though 300 was a dark movie. What if I just spoke as Leonidas in this episode? Did I almost get a 300 outfit and wear it here? Yeah, I did. Okay. And it just didn't work out on Amazon. Okay. Amazon likes to bullshit, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Amazon. Bezos, keep doing what you're doing. Okay. Bezos won. 300 was one of those movies where you left the theater and you're like, I'm going to start doing crunches. Okay. And you're like, I'm going to take my fitness serious. All right. It didn't happen. Okay. Gerard Butler. What a movie to come out to like that be, and I'm sure he was in things before, but that's who he was known for, was Leonidas. All right. And how much of a fraud do you have to be when they're having their abs painted and everything like that? And I love it. Not that I love men, but hey, maybe I do. Who knows? Love is a spectrum nowadays. But 300 was such a dope movie because they told the legend of 300. There's a lot of historians who came out and they're like, actually, they didn't happen like that. I'm like, watch the fucking movie. Hey, I'm not going to take something that serious if I can eat popcorn or a hot dog while I'm watching it. Okay. I'm not sitting there with a fine tooth comb. Okay. Watching it if I happen to have butter on my fingers. All right. That used to be my favorite thing as a kid. Here's what's fucked up. Butter's free when you go to the movies. If you wanted to, you could be a little psychopath and just order a little cup of, like, can I get a little cup? And you just get a little cup of butter. You know what my hood rat brother and I used to do when we go to the movies as kids? We go to the Dollar Theater. All right. If you're from the hood, you know about the Dollar Theater over on Valley Central Way in Lancaster. Shout out, baby, off of I. Shout out to the hometown. We'd go to the Dollar Theater and we would go up to the concessions. And here's the thing. Popcorn is, for some, listen, unless you got, let's see, Salma Hayek back there spitting on the popcorn, don't charge $5 for a bucket of popcorn. Okay. That's popcorn. Movie theater popcorn is the most overpriced thing on the planet and no one's talking about it. Okay, yeah, there's jokes every now and then, but why are we doing this? Why is this a thing that happens? You go to the movie theater, it's almost more expensive at the concession stand, and I get it, they got to make money. But if these writer strikes really want to strike anything, let's strike how much popcorn costs at the movie theater. The audacity of some of these places to charge $7 a bucket for a bucket of popcorn that's being made by a high schooler. Okay. If you're going to charge $7 for a bucket of popcorn, I do want Salma Hayek behind there putting the butter in her mouth and then going, and then spitting it on the popcorn for me. Okay. Maybe like that Quentin Tarantino movie where she pours the drink down her foot. I'll take that. I'll be like, Salma Hayek, I would like a little bit of jalapenos on my popcorn. And she just pours it into my mouth. I'll take some of that jalapeno juice right off her toesy. Okay. I don't give a shit if she was doing a walkathon that day. I'll take it for $7 of her bucket of popcorn. What do you got for me? All right, this got weird. Listen, what's the deal with popcorn? But anyway, what my brother and I used to do, we'd go to this dollar theater and we would get a cup. We would just ask them. We would act like we already bought something there. And this isn't illegal. I don't think this is one of those things that feels illegal that I don't think is illegal, is going to the refreshment stand, concession stand, and just asking for a cup of jalapenos. We would kind of pretend like we had already bought popcorn. We had already bought popcorn swag. Okay, that's where you walk around like, I'm rich enough to buy popcorn at the theater. And we would go, we'd buy it where we wouldn't buy shit. And we'd ask them, be like, hey, could we get 2 cups of, little cups of jalapeno? You know, we forgot. And they'd be like, okay. Like they don't give 2 shits, but we have this whole Ocean's 11 heist planned in our head. Like, how are we going to get free jalapenos that are free at the movie theater? And we would do that. We would just go there and we get a little cup of jalapenos and we would eat jalapenos while we watched our dollar theater movie. I don't know if that's sad, but I'll be honest with you, it was healthy. If you're going to get anything at the movie theater that's not going to, kill your chances of acting in a 300 movie or 300, it's going to be jalapenos. And you might be like, Evan, was this a one-time thing? No, we did it all the time. Okay. And listen, my brother and I, we loved Star Wars growing up. We would be waiting. I don't know if y'all remember, episode 1 was a pretty big deal with it, when it was, releasing. This was back when people would camp out for movie tickets, and we were just a couple homeschooled hoodlums, and we would go to the mall where we were going to watch the movie, and you would have to get these tickets like weeks in advance. And I remember it was right next to the food court. So we weren't there being like, okay, we got $20, we can get the tickets. We got like $6 left over. No, we weren't even thinking about that. We were like, how do we get stuff out of this food court for free? Okay. And you know what we'd end up eating? Banana bell peppers from Subway. Okay. Banana bell peppers from Subway. For some reason, and this is a life hack. If you're ever in a pinch and you just want a little bit of food to tide you over, you can get peppers from most restaurants for free. They'll just give it to you, okay? You just got to walk up and act like you already got something from there. And you go, hey, can I get a little container of the banana bell peppers? And they'll just give it to you, okay? For some reason, peppers aren't respected in the food world, all right? And I've thought about this to be like, how could you go to a food court and get so much stuff from all the different places where you could create your own little meal? Okay, what would that look like at the end of the day? Because they probably, you start stepping out of that pepper world, you start asking for black olives from Subway, they might start being like, let me see your receipt. The black olives might be the line where they're like, You start asking, I think it's all in the confidence of what you say. Because if you walk up and you're like, hey, can I get a little more shredded lettuce for my sandwich? They might be like, okay, I didn't serve this person, but here you go. You just have to make them think that they already saw you and they're dealing with early onset dementia. Okay. I've also thought about that. Would it be fucked up to do that to old people? Is to just constantly go up to old people you've never met before? And just be like, hey, how are you? How's everything been? And then when they're like, do I know you? Just be like, aha. Come on. And just see that moment in their face where they're like, oh no, it's happening. It's fucked up. But anyway, these are the kind of thoughts I have in my mind. I think you could pull it off. I think really if you go to a food court and what's the hard thing is getting protein out of it. All right. You gotta find some condiments or some extras that have the protein in there, which is, listen, an establishment charging extra for blue cheese, ranch, or any kind of dressing is the most disrespectful shit ever. Okay? If I'm buying food from your restaurant, don't have the audacity to charge me an extra 50 cents for an extra honey mustard. Okay? Unless you're going to have Salma Hayek come out the back, swish it around in her mouth, and then spit it in my face, don't even think about charging me 50 cents. All right? And $1 for blue cheese. Unless you're going to have Salma Hayek from the 90s walk out, swish it around in her mouth, and put it in a little, what are those little tourniquets? They're not tourniquets. Tourniquet? Tupperware? Anyway, listen, you know what I'm trying to say. Tourniquet? Turn up? Let's turn up. Anyway, stupid. Unless you're going to get her to do that, don't even think about charging me $1 extra for blue cheese when I've already purchased something at your establishment. If I'm spending $30 at your establishment for something to go, and I'm like, hey, blue cheese, please. Okay. And here's also the other thing. If I'm in your restaurant, I'm patroning it. Okay. And I have my meal already and I go, hey, can I get an extra little blue cheese or something like that? And they go, blue cheese is actually 50. I'm going to get it. Okay. But also don't put me in that position where there's a chance that I'm going to go, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. All right. Because we've strayed so far from God that now we're charging extra for goddamn condiments that some goddamn high schooler is going in the back. Okay. How much profit you making off of that goddamn piece of shit? Sorry. I just want to have an angry turn for the 300th episode. The audacity of these people, I tell you. Okay. I remember when you could just, you could even go to a deli and just sample the meat. Okay. How crazy is that there's delis still giving out free meat? And we got, you know what it is? People charging you for a condiment. Okay. And why are we so not precious with ketchup? They'll give you all the ketchup you want. You ever got home and you have a bag with 10 things of ketchup? And you're like, Jesus, what's wrong with this ketchup? Okay. I got Costco storage 27-gallon bins in my garage just filled with the stuff. All right. I get worked up about this. Restaurants charging for condiments and extra honey mustard and blue cheese is the equivalent when you order to go and you have cashiers trying to get you to tip at checkout. Okay. I don't support this. Okay. I'm all for paying people for service, but the service has got to be there. All right. If you never made eye contact with me, you didn't help with my order that much. Hey, if I'm feeling good, I'll leave $1 or $2. It does happen. But the audacity to just have it display 20%. Do you want to add a tip of 20% for my order to go? Hey, are you going to go home with me and massage my shoulders while I do this? While I eat this food, are you going to sit there massaging my shoulders? Are you gonna feed me like a little baby boy just within a little airplane? All right. Because listen, if I'm getting food to go at your restaurant and I select 20% of a tip for a meal to go, Salma Hayek better pack up that food, go home, and spit it in my goddamn mouth for 20%. Okay. For 20%, that's what I need. Those are the terms. Balls in your court, food and beverage industry. Okay. For anybody wondering, Salma Hayek's on my list. She's on the pass. Okay. We have approval for that. All right. It's just a crazy world that we live in. I don't know if we're going to play it, if we're going to add it. We were supposed to do it in the intro. But a look back on some of my favorite episodes so far, it being the 300th episode, I wanted to do something. I don't know if we're even going to have it here. This might be an awkward transition where nothing even happens because now it feels like we're halfway through the episode. Okay. But if so, I'll include a compilation of some of my favorite moment. Ready and go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural flagship episode of my podcast. I struggled with the name for a long time, and I've been sitting on the name 7 minutes in Evan for a long time. I thought 7 inches in Evan. Nah, we're not going to get any sponsors with this thing. But I feel like that was the most clever name I could think of. And that's what I'm going with right now. And obviously it's not going to be 7 minutes long, but for now, it's cute, right? It's kind of cute. Yeah, we're going to hear crows and shit. Someone is battling a witch out there. There's a witch conjuring up a spell or a potion, probably on me. This is the first guest, and I'll be honest, man, I held out. People calling me to be the first guest. It's almost been annoying, people wanting to be a guest. Joe Rogan hit me up. President and all the people running. Joe Biden, I had to block him. Trying to get on here. And oh yeah, before I get going with this podcast, I have my first sponsor that I have to read something for. Hey. It's actually really funny. It's a day of many. I got paid for it, so I have to do it.
Selling your soul a little bit at a time.
It really is.
It's a slippery slope.
Right, you guys ready? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode... I really got paid for this. This episode is sponsored by Michael Schwartz because he gave me $20 and he wanted me to let you know Mikey got the yum yums. That's really the read. Special episode for you today. On the podcast, I have brought you none other than a pangolin conservation specialist, Lauren Aris. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. Hi.
She focuses on saving the pangolins all over the world, breaking into warehouses at gunpoint and stealing them, taking them to a pangolin farm, and making a better life for them. Show me the meaning of feeling lonely. Welcome to the Roaring 20s, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like during the Backstreet Boy era, the boy band era, that if you could just make this sound, you could be a boy band. And if you had like feathery hair, you could just go, ah. That's all it took. And one of these moves. There was like dudes in the back of boy bands that made $1 billion. And all they did was this shit. And then they would be just like, ah. And a little bit of harmony. And they would just fake it on Pro Tools. They just... It's tearing on my heart when I'm with you. Some nature group dropped something like 10,000 pounds of carrots on Australia. Thought it would be a good idea to feed the wildlife that was suffering from the fires that way. Yeah, let's just drop thousands of carrots out of a helicopter for koalas and kangaroos. You think these little roos are wearing helmets? You think koalas have a concussion protocol? You think they're prepared for that kind of blunt trauma forced to the brain? You guys didn't even think that one through. Why don't you create some carrot missile launchers? Oh, how about this? Maybe a carrot dynamite stick. Huh, Looney Tunes? Huh? Beep, beep. I would like to unveil my own coronavirus conspiracy theory. I have one. I have one with Bill Gates. You guys ready for this shit? Okay, here is my coronavirus conspiracy with Bill Gates. It's not 5G. I think, okay, this is sexy. This is a juicy conspiracy theory. Bill Gates created Microsoft, right? Microsoft created Xbox. By creating this pandemic, Bill Gates not only quadrupled the sales of Xboxes, But they just released Call of Duty, the latest one before this, with so many updates to allow people to play it, buying the game. It's like the highest selling game of all time. Everybody is playing it. There's all these memes, which I'm sure Bill Gates is making himself, pushing the product of the goulash, or the gulag. I'm sorry. Goulash is like some German spaghetti. Moving on. I think Bill Gates created the pandemic to get people to buy Xbox, to play Call of Duty on it, so all of us at home playing Xbox during the pandemic get very good at war. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have the vaccine, and he's going to inject a mind-controlling entity into our bodies that take over, and then we do his bidding because he's in control of us. Now we're all trained soldiers. Listen, I'm like a colonel in that shit. I got third on Battle Royale the other day by myself. Battle Royale trios. Then we're going to take over the world. That's how he does it. He enslaves all men from the age of 14 to 38, and we're just going to do his bidding, and we're just going to rock it in the free world. The only problem is that when you develop this sedentary lifestyle playing Xbox, is your body starts to decay. So we're going to have to account for that. There's going to be some struggle with the Cheeto fingers eating Doritos, but we're going to be so hopped up on Mountain Dew and Monster Energy drink, it's not going to matter. It's not A California Christmas by Evan Lopez. It was the year 2020 as Christmas grew near, but something felt funny. There wasn't much cheer. All along Main Street, it was a ghost town because Gavin Newsom told shop owners, "You must close down." But if you need gifts, there's no need to panic. My winery stays open. Newsom grapes are organic. But just remember, you must wear a mask. But I don't have to indoors because I like to bask in the blood of babies of small business owners. They call them kids. I call them donors. Don't be sad I ate your children for Christmas. Think of it this way. Now there's no more kids' wish list. No stockings to stuff once I have my fill. And close up shop for 9 months and I'll make you this deal. Stay locked up inside as we live like ballers. And I'll send you one payment of $600. As Gavin ate boneless wings, he giggled with glee as him and Pelosi grinned cheek to cheek. A few shekels for the peasants as they sit alone by the tree? Not yet. Let's postpone another week. And then they said, "Hell, Satan," and drank more blood of babies with Mark Zuckerberg and whoever owns TikTok. Maybe. Chanting another year of special interests. And to all the peasants, enjoy your social distance, strictest, insidious, corporate business supported Christmas. Bars. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. If you're watching the video portion of this, we got a new setup. Your boy finally came through with the setup. I've been teasing it for weeks, and you know what? Still work in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Happy Wednesday. It's really Monday when we're recording this. I have a special treat for you. Normally, like Evan, you sing us a beautiful song to start the podcast. You, ladies and gentlemen, are in for a treat. Today, I have with me as a guest in studio. She got the corona test. She is corona-free, we believe. Can't speak for myself. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to unveil the new song by Marley Lovelace, the #1 singer-songwriter in the Ventura area, as I always say. She's going to be singing her new song, The Knife. Enjoy.
Hi. Wonder how much time it consumed to have the blood washed from yourself. And I wonder if used differently, could you have better helped? So misjudged at first glance 'cause of all the harm people use you to do. I know I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for the help of you. 'Cause they met their match and you made their day. In my short existence here, you made my pain go away. So sharp, so elegant, so strong, so intelligent, so commonly missed you, so commonly taken away. I'm very glad I put you in my pocket before leaving my house today. Starts off with a classic story. Girl walks home alone. The big bad wolf is hungry, but this chick can hold her own.
There's times when I'm doing boxing workouts and everything, and I'm just primed. I'm fucking ready. And I imagine, I'm like, it would be so funny if someone broke through the door right now and I was just sweating in my own place, jumping rope in, boxing shoes and just shorts, sometimes underwear. Listen, your boy is normalized working out in his underwear. Giggity. But they just burst through the door thinking they're going to get the jump on someone. And I'm just there sweaty, ready for fucking 9 rounds. Just like, wrong house, motherfucker. You picked the wrong house and the wrong time. You got to come back when your boy's a little tired. Maybe catch me after the sauna. You'll have a chance. And I've always had the fantasy. There was a point where all I had at that time in my life was a bow and arrow, okay? I had this fantasy, someone breaking in, and I would go to the closet and I'd hide in the closet, this deep closet. I'd pull the arrow back, the bow, Robin Hood style, and I'd be waiting. And now here's the thing, you got to stay in the dark because that's what you have over people, is your eyes are adjusted to the room. You're fucking ready. And someone walks through the door and they're creeping around. Maybe I put a pumpkin on my pillow and I cover it so they think I'm right there. They think I'm just snoozing through it. Bad move, buddy. They go up to the pumpkin, stab it in the head, thinking they're ending me. No. All they hear in silence, they pull back the cover, they just see a fucking smashed pumpkin, kind of like a pumpkin. And then they're just in shock. They're just like, what? And then all they hear from the closet is, wrong house. Dead. Or maybe I catch them with a hole in the shoulder, so then they go stuck against the wall, and then I other shoulder pinned up against the wall like fucking Jesus Christ. And then what do? Crown of thorns. And it's probably 1 a.m. right now. I'm about to make this last to like 7 a.m. They're going to rise with the sun. That's the thing. It's like they're going to be crucified. I will then transfer them to an actual cross that I have ready for this situation. Listen, you break into my house, and you're trying to smash my pumpkin bars, you're going to have a bad time. I'm going to make an example of you, okay?
Yeah. Sorry. You found the spot first.
Yeah. And I remember, oh shit. Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh. Wow, you're happy to see me. Oh.
That's just how it comes, baby. That's just stock. I come stock like that. If people don't know, I just really like telling this story, man. GME stock. Feared worse by hedge fund managers than an Epstein flight log. GameStop. Where shitty games you got for Christmas go to die for pennies on the dollar. I'm all for the movement, but y'all must have bi-dementia. You want to steal billions of dollars from hedge funds while fueling a company that stole billions from kids in store credit. Yeah, it seems fair that I trade you my Xbox and 10 games for a used copy of Crash Bandicoot, a game about a junky marsupial Sonic the Hedgehog knockoff with an affliction for wearing shirts. Probably supports the Capitol riots. GameStop has screwed more kids than a Neverland Ranch Sandusky summer super camp. Where were y'all at when the creepy draft from Toys R Us was choking on bankruptcy with its long-ass neck? Or when Blockbuster died from probably COVID complications? Wake up, sheeple. GameStop is not your friend, especially when you're just an 11-year-old boy trying to sell your Pokemon Blue version at a fair price. I miss you, Charizard. GameStop, at least buy me dinner before you fuck me like that. Everyone else, I love you. How we doing, you beautiful people? Welcome to the podcast, you cool cats and kittens and other hit 2020 references. Sometimes Monday comes along and you just gotta welcome it with a song, so sing along if you know the lyrics, but shoot, I ain't said them yet. Ha! Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the weekend's in. The fuck do we do now? Another day in quarantine. I'm gonna do the same 3 things. I can't be late. I'm gonna work out, work, and masturbate myself. Self-help is self-love. I might go on Yelp and leave a mean review or 2 just to blow off some steam. Cause I'm through, this pandemic is killing me. But not really, I take vitamin D, and so should you. Fauci looks like Dobie, and nobody makes enough memes about that. Gentlemen, I unveil the 100th episode. I gotta say, the fact that we made it here is awesome. It's a great milestone I wanted to celebrate. And here's to at least 900 more episodes. I ain't stopping. We ain't stopping the podcast. We got so much momentum, and I'm so happy. I'm proud of every guest that came on. I'm honored to have you guys, and thank you to the listener, like there's one listener. Thank you for that one person. I don't know who you are, Grandma. Thanks for always listening. Your boy's on that open road right now, okay? Listen, I have prepped this from the future. Your boy is coming from the future to the now to the past, and in the present, your boy is halfway to Texas. All right? It's going down right now to Texas. It's going down, down, baby. Listen to my podcast, maybe. Boom, boom, baby. Gonna be a cowboy. Everything that I've got is just in this apartment. Well, there's sun is high in that Texas sky. I'll be bucking at the county fair. I'm in Austin forever. I'm in Austin if you care. Ladies and gentlemen, the pigeon has landed. We've landed, ladies and gentlemen.
Nikolai Tesla was alive 100 years ago, dude. We're still trying to figure out what he was doing, you know?
Was he the dude that fell in love with a pigeon? Was that him?
Yeah, that's him. But I love how that was like at the end of his life where I think he literally had dementia, and that's what everyone remembers about him.
Bro.
But he literally is responsible for how the world works now.
Hey, bro, I'm sorry. You fuck one pigeon, bro. I'm going to remember it.
Pigeon. He never fucked a pigeon.
I mean, can we say that for sure?
No, I can't. I wasn't there in the room with him or nothing. But,
he at least cuddled weird with it, you know?
Yeah, he got weird.
Because I don't know if you guys remember, but they were about to take Olympic wrestling out of the Olympics. The initial sport that started the Olympics. It doesn't make any sense that you would even put wrestling on the table and leave something like equestrian. If your sport involves an animal, you gotta go to the Animal Olympics, right? Who's doing most of the work with an equestrian? You want to see here's an equestrian. This is how much of an athlete you have to be. Ready? I honestly didn't know kayaking was an Olympic sport until I turned on the TV yesterday and they were kayaking through fake rapids. People do it on vacation. All right? They unwind with it. If there's a chance that I could fish during your sport, I don't want to see it on the television. If you want me to care about someone kayaking through the rapids, you better put it in the middle of a river. You better put actual boulders, and I want a goddamn bear in the arena. A hungry bear. Haven't fed this thing for 7 days. And before that, all we were feeding it was dead kayakers. I wanted to develop the taste for man or woman, equality, or anything else human. Are people still allowed to identify as human? Is that offensive to say someone's human? We don't know. We'll never know. But some 27-year-old working at some job will let me know. I want actual bears in the arena, people having to kayak through it. And then what I want is other people around the edge with fishing poles trying to hook their kayak. Another one in the Olympics that I've seen, lifting weights. How did they sneak practice into the Olympics? You want to talk about practice, coach? You lift weights, you get stronger. It's cross training. That's the biggest snake oil there ever was. The dude who invented the CrossFit games. He somehow turned working out into a phenomenon. We're going to lift weights very fast and fuck up everybody's body. But we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to go to regular gyms. We're going to slam weights down. We're not going to give a shit. We're going to do weird kipping pull-ups. The last thing you ever need to do in your life is a kipping pull-up. The only time it was ever effective was in Jurassic Park 2 when the girl who was a gymnast did a kipping pull-up to kick a raptor through a wall. The only time And guess what? The movie was fake. There's a lot of shit that I do that I'm never going to need. When I'm shadow boxing in a gym, what am I going to fight, a pack of ghosts? Someone's going to put me in a bubble popping contest where I'm going to have to sit there and just to save my children's life? Pastor Evan here, and I'm here to say, don't masturbate, no, not today, unless you like Satan, because hell supports masturbation, and of course, any sexual derangements, like being with the girl. Yuck, fool, you should only come to Sunday school. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, feel that weird beat? I've never even heard this. Sometimes it's disturbing the way I just hear something start going. I didn't practice. It's apparent that I didn't practice, cause it's all off beat and it's not neat. But this wind chime is kinda sweet. It might not be anything. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just start rapping, I start snapping. Sometimes it starts sounding like shit and I just can't catch the beat. But you know what? I still try to bring the heat like I'm camping. And I got a little trying to get a little spark, a little ember, and maybe we won't be so dark and we can remember the good times and the fairy tales. What? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, not everyone's gonna be good. And that's a life lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 7 Minutes in Evan, episode 200. Did I not realize it's episode 200 till right now? We did. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 200, bringing out all the corny sounds. Classic, bringing it back. What do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, a man on a tale of getting to 200 episodes. Can he do it? Well, in fact, he just did it. Fuck Nike. Don't do it. I done it. What's that at the door? Episode 200. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If it's your first time here, where the fuck were you for episode 1 through 199? But it's okay. It's okay. We're still early. I'm going to be here at episode fucking 2000. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Episode 200. Holy shit. Best show on television right now. Yellowstone touches on every American fantasy, everything that gives us fulfillment as Americans, where we're like, yeah, living off the land. We all want to live vicariously through everyone on the ranch. We all want to live in the bunkhouse. But here's the truth. You want to live that life until you actually have to do that work. They're not showing you the 10-hour day they had, smelling like shit, eating beef jerky, constipated, and having to fight people. Everybody thinks Beth is so cool. Beth is awesome. Her character is awesome. But to actually just spend your day with her, like she's such an insane character, Beth would be exhausting. Hey, Daddy, what you need? I'm gonna kill some people today, Daddy. Like if I was her brother and she'd be like, hey, Evan, I love you. And I'm gonna go murder some people. Okay, because that's what the fuck I do. Hey, Daddy, I'm gonna burn everything down because I love you. It's like, dude, it's not that serious. Just relax, Beth. We'll figure it out. Drake allegedly put hot sauce in a condom to prevent a woman from fucking turkey basting herself with it. Removed the condom from the trash and inserted the opening end in her vagina in an attempt to impregnate herself. I'll be honest with you. Is Drake walking around with hot sauce packets in his pocket for this particular situation? The Tabasco is a tight move. It lets you know that the trap happened. He ran into the other room and caught her in a cookie jar and he went, now you're gonna pay for your sins. Sometimes I be chillin' and I be fine thrillin' and I be fucking models. But I keep that little tiny bottle of Tabasco just in case this girl tries to be an asshole. And we got a new fiasco and I be pouring spicy shit on my children, but they ain't born yet. This is what the mind fuck is of a tornado warning. Because you go outside and you go, ain't nothing happening. And then you look on Google and it's like, hey, one of the signs that there's going to be a tornado is nothing's happening. So with that kind of logic, tornadoes could happen any day. The Bible is like the greatest story to show why abortion is a good thing. God had a baby with a hooker. If anybody would have benefited from having options, it was God. Because ironically, he wasn't ready to be a father. He was obsessed with his career. Jesus grew up without him, got into like woodworking and carpentry. Anybody who just randomly gets into woodworking is a cry for help. Fatherless JC didn't give a shit. He started his own cult. Joseph wasn't raising him. He was busy trying to invent the first paternity test. Dude, what Mary pulled off when she got caught cheating and she said it was immaculate conception, that's why we should call it a Hail Mary, is because like, dude, yes, queen. Because she just finessed all mankind. You couldn't tell teenager JC nothing. JC out there, just the fuck boy. Walking into parties, turning water into wine. Doing miracles when the crowds were around. The equivalent of a TikToker filming their good deeds, you know, when they give like a sandwich to a homeless guy. Are you religious?
I mean, I would consider it spiritual.
Yeah.
I'm not buying we're done after this.
No shit.
I'm not. I believe
I hope you're right.
I believe in afterlife. I believe in a higher power. I just don't know what that is yet. I'm figuring it out. I don't. Again, it's the science. I don't buy the science thing. Big boom, dude. I didn't hear shit. Come on, come on. Fucking big boom. Then why is Yeah, the first one was good enough.
I don't know if it was like this in Canada, but in America, it was like you had to check your candy for razor blades. Did you guys ever have that?
Like, what are they putting razor blades in besides like a candy apple?
What parent ever gets something made from someone on Halloween is like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hand my kid produce and I'm gonna be like, yeah, cool. They found fentanyl in like the candy nerds coming across the borders right now.
Wow.
Like they were trying to smuggle it in with all these other nerds. So like there's gonna be little kids who are gonna have the best night for a little bit on their Halloween. They're gonna trick or treat and think it's the greatest thing, and then who knows what happens.
Right. Oh my Lanta, dude.
It's gonna be a sad first week in November.
Happy Halloween.
As soon as somebody switches to metaphors about animals, your boy's out. I don't like the beast stuff. I don't like the lion talk. If you're someone that ever refers to yourself as a wolf, or like that quote, throw me to the wolves and I'll come back the leader, we literally should be allowed to throw you into the wild with a bag of dog treats and be like, good luck. We'll come check on you next winter, alpha. Just throw them out into the winter with the tennis ball and be like, good luck. Don't forget they smell fear.
The other instance I have is I didn't know she was homeless and I let her stay at my house for a night.
Did you try to fuck her?
No, I didn't try to fuck her. She was actually...
You did?
No, I didn't. Okay. God, no.
You actually did. No. I didn't try.
Anyways, she was a homie. Like
That's a pun. You're being punny right now. She was a homeless homie?
Yeah, she was a homeless homie.
You technically can't be a homie if you're homeless. You got to think of a new thing. You can call her Romy.
Oh, I like Romy. But yeah, she pulls like this metal shank out of her backpack.
Oh my God.
And starts like cutting up my car a little bit. I went to work. Man, what a weird situation.
Hold on. You can't skip over what happened after that.
So I just did Sober October.
Oh, hell yeah. You did the whole thing?
Yeah, midnight last night I had my first drink. I was still smoking weed and doing ketamine.
Selling my sperm right now. So
were you really?
I was donating it for a while. Donating.
Yeah,
donating is not the right word. They're straight up. I'm making money. Like it's not donation at all. It's selling sperm. That's what it should be called.
Dude, you were masturbating as a side hustle.
So it's weird they even call it that.
You had to claim it on your taxes.
I did. And by the way, here's the thing. I got paid $800 just to try.
Just to try?
Yep. And they did not take me. They didn't want it.
They looked at it and they were like,
I don't know.
This.
Yeah, I don't know if they were like, I don't know if they heard that I was an open micer and they're like, it's okay. We don't need it. A lot of the sperm goes to Australia. So I don't know what they're doing in Australia.
Are they drinking it over there? Like what?
I don't know if they're feeding it to the fucking, whatever, the camels or whatever they got out there. I'm such an idiot. I don't know what they have. Kangaroos, dude.
They made you take a test on animals and they were like, Daddy said camels are in Australia. Throw it out.
I had to do kindergarten twice. I'm not smart. Naked and Afraid's funny because
you can see Naked and Afraid. You go down the 6th Street, dude.
Yeah. It'd be weird for me to be on Naked and Afraid, dude. I wouldn't want the lady to see my softie, dude.
You want to give it a couple tugs anytime someone's right. See it.
You can always tell who's got the small dick too.
With the blur.
They're the ones that make the clothes the fastest. They're making those they're pulling leaves off as soon as they get there. It's like, okay, this guy's just insecure, dog.
You definitely know a lot about turtles.
I don't want to get too heated up on this podcast. They bury them alive and then they leave. They probably go out and get pregnant immediately again.
Jezebels of the sea.
If you have a sea turtle bumper sticker out there, you're my enemy. Put yourself in the shoe of a baby sea turtle. First of all, you got to overcome everyone's biggest fear from the get-go, which is being buried alive. That's day one. And then you finally get to the top and you look out, you're just, where's mom? Mom, are you there? Mom's not there, but guess who is there? Every predator on the continent is there waiting to eat you, and they're okay with it. They're like, I think one of them will make it. That's enough, right? Is that maybe bury us a little closer to the water next time? Did you have to go quarter mile inland?
Yeah. Why do they do that?
I'm not even open to hearing reasons.
Death row meal.
Okay.
Everyone always says, I want steak, I want lobster, I want chicken wings and pizza. You know, I don't eat them all the time because they make you feel like shit.
You might want to die after.
You want to die after that, yeah.
That's a good move.
But it tastes so good.
A good steak might make you think about life and miss it. Like,
Yeah,
it might
exactly.
make you a little sad.
After you eat a pizza and like 20 wings, you're like, this life sucks.
You look over who's going to clean you up, and you're like, this is your problem.
What
now.
would you do?
The craziest calzone that you could ever make.
Calzone.
Like,
I like that.
Like,
move.
I want a calzone to in my mouth with cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm watching that Jared Fogle documentary,
dude,
which is wild because I'm only 2 episodes in, and I've sat down to watch it 4 times, and each time I watch it, I like fall asleep.
It's a weird thing to put you to sleep.
Really weird thing to put you to sleep.
He just calms you, and you're like, you know what? I could go for a nap right now.
Yeah, for a nap and a Subway sandwich. I don't know. It's just boring. He sucks.
Just a boring white guy that looked like he ran an HOA or something.
Yeah, so boring.
He looks like, he just ate tuna sandwiches and turkey sandwiches. He never really stepped out to like the spicy Italian.
I think he was eating veggie sandwiches and then like...
Even worse.
Yeah, I think he was eating the veggies.
That's how they should have stopped him. They should have known something was wrong with him when he was just getting veggie.
I love chess.
Really?
I like it because it is like a reasoning and, you know, what happens if I do this, taking risks.
Now, are you just sitting there and wait for a stranger to come along?
Sometimes.
Oh, that's like a movie.
Yeah, I was
That's
waiting
cool.
I was waiting for a comic to come. I'd set it up and everything was set, and a dude walked up. He was like, "Play a game?" I was like, "Come on." And we sat there for like, maybe the 30 minutes till he got there, playing just game after game after game.
Chess is one of those where I always tell myself I want to learn how to play to be smart, you know? Because I saw that the Queen's Gambit, I think it was that show.
I think they're just born with that kind of. Hers was trauma.
Got a little bit of that. I think I could pull into that a little bit.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know if.
Doesn't that suck that some trauma doesn't equate to crazy talent? You just like don't trust people.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Like some people just end up with drinking problems rather than being the best chess player in the world.
Just not enough drive, dude.
Krispy Kreme's glazed donut.
One of those glazed donuts is amazing, but when you start getting to 2 to 3, you feel like shit about yourself.
Yeah, immediately.
Like taking a second hit of crack. You're like, oh, now this is a problem.
It's like, I shouldn't have done this. I was already high.
Now I'm panicking.
Yeah, 2 of those is fucked up.
Yeah, you can die off that second one.
You could suffocate. That's how soft. You ever got a warm one, like in the morning?
Yeah.
It's like heaven.
Like, there's no such thing as serial killers. Shut the fuck up.
I don't like the way you made eye contact with me when you said serial killers. And the way you just laughed. Like, there's so much to this that I'm getting nervous. Because now you're taking me towards Rainy Street, Nico.
You don't have the balls to kill someone.
Me?
Yeah, you don't have the balls.
Nico, I'm talking about you as the killer.
No, it could be me, I'll be honest. If I had to pick, is it me or you, I would say probably, I would bet on me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It is weird to actually live in a time in a place where there's a serial killer on the loose.
We need a hero. We need a Batman.
This is your moment, Nico. Are we paddling to Rainy Street? I'll take one for the team and I'll be the bait.
Yeah, no. I think I need a superpower. I can't just be like a Batman. You know?
I wanted more for you, Nico. If you could have a superpower, what would you want it to be?
Selfishly flying.
The people who say invisible real fast, kind of creepy, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody who picks invisibility, you're like, you're a creep, dude. You're gonna be a villain. And no matter what, remember, I love you. Wow, those were cool, weren't they? But it is crazy. What's funny, I'll let you guys in on something because it's never happened. So when I first did the podcast, when I started, it started a few months right before the pandemic. I was like, great, I have a podcast. It gives me something to do. I'm doing comedy. and just another way to work on riffing and getting better. And it's just fun. It is fun to podcast. And I really enjoy doing solo episodes. We've had a lot of episodes with guests recently. We're going to have a few more. But I think we're going to focus on trying to do some more solo episodes. I enjoy them. I think there's something different than when I have guests. Okay. I'd love to know what you people think. You people. It's not singling out any nationality of people. But I would love to know if you enjoy the solo episodes or the guest episodes more. Some people reach out when I ask these questions. Some people just fuck off, but I still see the views and the downloads, and I'm like, oh, they just didn't take that question serious. All right, fuck me. If you're Salma Hayek. 300 episodes. It was, it's crazy the growth that it's had, I think, and just the evolution and the, I don't know. I hope the quality of the podcast. I've enjoyed doing it this entire time. And I really do think the podcast has been a tool for me to get better as a person because it's given me like an accountability where there's no bullshit. There's nothing else. It's just something that I do. And when I start saying something too often, I catch myself that, oh, you said that quite a few times and there's no changes with it. And I'll literally force myself to get better at it. Let's talk about some things that are kind of gossipy that might satisfy your quenches. These are things that people have asked me, and I don't usually talk about them on the episode. Like I don't spill the tea that often, but people have asked me if there's any guests that I wasn't happy with, or things that happened on the podcast that I wasn't happy with. Yeah, a fucking course. Okay. Has there been episodes that haven't came out? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's been episodes that haven't came out with guests where people just got weird, or I was like, I don't think that's going to be a good thing for the podcast. There's been times where I've been on the podcast and I'm like, man, this is weird. There have been, oh yeah, this was the one thing I was going to tell you that I'm letting you in on the going thing with this show. Every 100 episodes, I've reached out to Mark Normand, okay, because I started this during the podcast, or before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, which was a couple years long, which is crazy that was a thing, depending on where you lived. He was doing a ton of smaller podcasts because he wasn't doing stand-up and everything. And for the 100th episode, I think it was, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I reached out to his management and I was like, hey, I'm a small-time podcast. I just would love the opportunity to talk to Mark Normand for the 100th episode. And his management got back to me and they gave me a very management answer. It was such a long shot that I was like, I have nothing to bring to this. I don't offer anything at this point in my career. And they go, hey, Mark, unfortunately, because of his schedule, doesn't have a lot of time to do a lot of great podcasts that approach him like yourself. Hey, you even watch the podcast? Not that great. Not that great. So they passed on it and I wrote them back. I said, hey, thank you so much for responding. I appreciate that and understand. I'll see you at 200. They never responded to that. At the 200 episode, hey, bitch, it's me again. Reached out to the management and I reached out to Mark Normand, I think via his website. And I said, hey, Mark, tried to catch you at the 100th episode. You were too big for me then. The podcast still sucks, but it's the 200th one. I tried to get you on the 100th. Will you do the 200? Nothing. Crickets. Didn't get anything back. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Forgot what I did for the 200th episode. Don't know if it was that big of a deal. Then with this podcast, obviously episode 300, coming out a little bit later than normal because I was trying to give him time. I was trying to give Marky Mark the benefit of the doubt that he was going to give me, a fourth quarter response. I said, hey, Mark, love everything you do, which is complete truth. I do love everything Mark Normand does, except the whole not being on my podcast. Reached out, tried to catch you on the 100th. Didn't. Tried to catch you on the 200. Didn't. Trying to get you on the 300th, big guy. Didn't call him big guy because I didn't want to make it weird. You know, when people just try to be too friendly, too fast, and you make it weird by being too personal, you know, too familiar with someone. There's nothing I hate more. But anyway, crickets, okay, for the 300th. But I also made it very low pressure because I feel like it's a matter of time. If I don't stop doing comedy and I don't stop doing podcasting, there's going to be a bridge where I cross with him in the sense of I now have a platform that is big enough and successful enough and funny enough to get him as a guest, okay? Because you're at a fever pitch right now, Mark. But one day, that shining star is going to start falling. And you know what? Who's going to be rising from the ashes? The boy powered by the banana bell peppers that just spit in his mouth by Salma Hayek. And I'll catch you. I'll catch you one of these days. It could be the 500th episode. It would be insane if it was 400. Okay. Could be the 600. Hell, it could be the 20,000th episode. But I'll get you one day. And that's why I told him. I said, hey, if I don't catch you this 300, I'll see you at 400. No response. But it's now turned into a thing, okay, that we try to get Mark Norman on the podcast every 100 episodes, all right? We'll get him one day, okay? I'm like Bill Cosby in a club, okay? I see you there. I'll get you eventually. You're going to get tired. Anyway, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, what has been happening? Okay, Texas is hot as shit. I wrote notes, things to talk about. Why is there even a front row at the movie theaters? This is a real thought, okay? I didn't plan to have so much movie theater material today, but it just is what it is. A lot of this Barbie Oppenheimer shit, it's the dumbest crossover I've ever heard in my life, okay? Everybody going to see Oppenheimer, they sit there like they're a goddamn historian. It's fucking Cillian Murphy. Get the fuck out of my face. Peaky Blinders, all that shit. I've only seen one episode, but Cillian Murphy just seems like an exhausting friend. All right. He just seems like he's always going to be in artist mode. And I could be wrong, but it's too much. All right. And everybody wants to watch Oppenheimer and think that their father history. No, everybody wants to watch Barbie. It's crazy. Shout out to whoever the marketing team was on these, where they met up and they were like, let's combine our parties. What do they call it? Barbenheimer? Oppen Barbie? Anyway, I probably, honestly, when I saw, because I thought about it, okay, I am a sucker for an IMAX experience. I love to watch things in XD where it's like cinematic and the visuals. I'm a sucker for that. I'm also a good sucker. Anyway, that sounded weird. I'm also a sucker for a good historical movie. What was the one? Dunkirk. Holy shit, was that movie phenomenal. And what was the other one? Was it like 1923 or no? It was the one that was one shot where you followed the story of these soldiers through like one big, shot. The movie, they at least made it seem like that, which was, it was just insane, this movie. But I love historical movies. I do. I even love embellished ones. I think that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, phenomenal. Those are crossovers you don't know you need. I'd love to see that. Let's go back. Let's change a couple things. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that is such a phenomenal movie. Okay. Let's do more of that shit. But back to my initial thing. Why the fuck? Who is the psychopath that is sitting in the front row? Like, why is that even an option down there? Is because if you got the front row at a movie that's sold out, you didn't plan on it. You snoozed and loosed. I've sat the front row as a kid, and you know what? It's not fun. I think it's the worst cinematic experience that you can have is sitting front row. Remember Front Row Joe? Cinemark just manipulating people into sitting in the front row. That's not cool. That's not great at all. Okay. I'm only sitting front row if Salma Hayek is doing that thing to Quentin Tarantino, and I'm going vicariously through that. Okay. Listen, Texas is hot as shit right now. All right. And here's the truth. A lot of people in California, whenever I post things about Texas and the heat and the humidity, and they go, yeah, but California sucks, remember? Hey, bitch. I've always stuck to my idea of what is wrong with California. Okay? It's too expensive and the political system is terrible. Okay? Listen. And to each their own. If you want to live in La La Land and think that California's political system is okay and a great place to raise a family, go do it. Go experience it. See how that works out for you. Okay? But when I was leaving there, I was like, this is not a place to do this, at least in some parts. All right. There's good and bad parts of everywhere. I'm sure there's terrible places in Texas to raise kids, Austin being one of them. Okay. I saw yesterday driving downtown to go wait outside the mothership like a homeless kid, a house selling right off the freeway. I'm sitting there in traffic watching this homeless guy having to wait till he tries to squeegee my car windshield with what I think is a bottle of piss. I look over and there's a house for sale, just overlooking a tattered field with homeless people and the freeway. That house was selling for $1.6 million. I'm like, why, if you have the ability to buy a $1.6 million house, would you ever buy it right here? Okay. You think raising kids in Austin is a good idea? The place is wild. And it's not because I have any political affiliation. This is the thing about me. I think if you are 100% on either side of a political spectrum, like if this is your team and you're just die hard whatever happens there, or this is your team and die hard whatever happens there, and you don't see any value in other side or anything, I think you're part of the problem. I think it's this two-party system, okay? Because it's like a gang, blood in, blood out, all right? I don't like to live in an area that is too hard one side. I need it to be balanced, just like life should be, okay? I want you to have a little bit of area, like I like a little bit of liberal things, because guess what? That's where the creativity flourishes. All right. That's where you get the wackadoodle things that can make art and all of that. And I think that's phenomenal. I think if you get too far down that rabbit hole, you get a little weird. You need a little bit of that conservative reality, fiscally. Okay. I like a little bit, it's cliche to say, a little bit socially liberal, fiscally conservative. You got to find a nice, healthy place in the middle. All right. I'm not, I think it gets a little weird. When I start having people too hard one side, like I can't even talk to you because you're not being rational. If you're gung-ho one side. Anyway, whole point I'm making is I like a little more balance where I live and with my life. All right. And I'll say this about the California thing. California, if it was affordable and if it was more balanced socially and wasn't a hellhole for business and with taxes, and, you know, there was the ability to flourish like there was in Texas as a business and as a person, California has the best landmarks, I think, out of everything. Granted, I haven't been everywhere in the world or even everywhere in the country. California beaches are some of the greatest beaches. You go up north to San Luis Obispo, Monterey Bay, you start going Yosemite, you go to the mountains, you go to the beaches. There are beautiful deserts, not where I grew up, but if you go, there's some great deserts, okay? Which is a weird thing to say. And then you do have, listen, I've binge watched Entourage again. You do have, it's a dope. I feel like Los Angeles maybe 20, 30 years ago was amazing. There's a reason why everybody moved to Los Angeles. There's a reason why everybody moved to California in general. So fucking dope. Okay. 20, 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago was the place to be. Hollywood, Tinseltown, gonna be a star, kid. I'm sure it was amazing. But guess what fucks shit up? Mental illness. And you know what is a mental illness? Fame and stardom. Okay? Stand-up comedians. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I like to think comedians, and listen, I'm no exception. Comedy, at least for me, has been a way to deal with trauma my entire life. I feel like such a pussy saying trauma, because that's the trigger word now. Comedy does come from that place. I feel like the coolest people always have some trauma and all of that. There's more spice. You ever been around someone who had a great childhood and just perfect parents and everything was great growing up? And I love my parents more than anything. But have you ever met someone who just had completely boring everything? They're the most boring people. I'm like, oh, you like chicken noodle soup? Bitch. Okay. You ever try to have a conversation with one of those people and they just have, they have a house, they have a car, they have 2.5 kids, they have a dog, they have a golden retriever. And they're just like, they have terrible stories. They're not fun. I need a little bit of edge to it. All right. And listen, there's a reality. Sometimes I hang around spots like you go to an open mic or you go somewhere where it's like you're seeing the bottom of the barrel. There's a lot of mental illness around comedy. Okay. But I think even worse so is around fame with Hollywood and acting, because these people are just using escapism. I feel like there's a lot of, it feels like when you want to be an actor, unless you're a true artist, you're a Cillian Murphy or whatever his name is, you're trying to use acting as a vehicle to fame, for attention, all of that. And it's like all those people influxed into Los Angeles, to be a star. And I think whatever the nucleus, that's what it becomes, is that huge, whatever the most of something you have there is, that's what your city's going to be comprised of. That's what everything's going to become when the most booming economy and what's making money in California is that. And is there worry that can happen with Austin? Let me tell you something. Austin is a lot smaller than Los Angeles. But Austin is different because there's so many different industries and titans of industries. You got tech, you got oil, you got tons of other, you got Tesla, which I don't know if that's considered tech, but there's alcohol industries. There's all these different industries that I think balance each other out. It's not just our biggest, you think of Los Angeles, you think of Hollywood, you think of acting. So I think overall, Austin is going to be a little more balanced. You hope. But who the fuck cares about that? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode. Okay, I'm going to give you guys what you want. I don't know what that means exactly, but we're going to find it. Okay? And truly, doing 300 episodes, it is dope because it's one of those things you just put one foot in front of the other. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. It's been a long ride. And I think I'm going to do the podcast till the end of time. Okay. I think especially the solo episodes, I do miss doing them. We went really guest heavy. We're going to have some more guests on, but the solo episodes, I feel like it's more of a connection with me and the audience rather than the audience being a fly on the wall for a conversation. I don't know how you feel about that. But yeah. Thank you guys. If you've listened to the episodes, any of them, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mother, and try stealing some jalapenos or banana peppers when you go to the movies. And if Salma Hayek's working there, let me know. And if you have any food hacks like that, let me know as well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And I love you. And I'll see you next week.